It stimulated from from what a coach saw in me as far as like my work ethic, and it just kind of stuck with me. And over time, it kind of broke down into a more meaningful aspect where soul was we broke soul and Jah. Soul is symbolic for the sound of my music, just the passion that I approach my craft with, and Jah is another Rastafarian, for God, you know what I'm saying? So soul God, you know what I mean? When I think about who I am as a artist, business wise, it separates sometimes from J Soulja and Jalen. J Soulja the artist though is Jalen. J Soulja the artist is the alter ego. The ego that is unafraid, unapologetic, and stands firm on everything that coincides morale-wise with who Jalen is as a person. I try to convey who I am tenfold, as a person into the music. J Soulja may be a little bit cockier, but it's rap, But at the end of the day, it's the same person. The heart that you like, the heart of J Soulja and the mind of J Soulja and the humility of J Soulja as far as what I do as a business and what I do as an entity. All of that comes from me being Jalen first. My content and my art comes from an honest place, and the drive to be creative is not as fresh as it was when I first started being creative, because you learning, you figuring it out, you getting the groove of it. So it's like when you doing that, you done put in, I've been doing this shit over a decade. I done put in about 10,000 hours with this shit. So now it's like when you feel like you've made every song that you think that you can make in your mind, you only have life to graduate you to new avenues of seeing the world and seeing how you can intertwine what you are living into your art to make it relatable, and make it stick with people in a way that the bubblegum shit doesn't. You know what I mean? So it's really just life, man. It's really life. How I ignite that drive to be creative. It comes from feeling like you on the short end of the stick. Feeling like you're overlooked or underappreciated or undervalued. From an artist perspective on the live stream shows, it's definitely a lot harder, especially in hip hop. Hip hop music has a huge disadvantage in the live stream section because, rap performances are so catered to the physical interaction and experience. It's not like we just got this bucket in front of us with a guitar and, we can, impress people. It's like, there's the charisma, there's the acting in it, tapping into that character so people can really, engage and galvanize behind you and shit like that. Like it's really a hard thing to encapsulate, especially for a lot of today's artists where, it's more image than it is music. You know what I mean? Thankfully for me, I make great music, or I like to feel like I make great music, you know what I mean? So my music has blessed me enough to put me into spaces that other rappers can't really be in. Because I believe that I've taken the sacrifice as a creative to go that avenue. These shows that I put on, I don't perform on them. I don't, try to steal the light. It's all about the artist. And it makes me morally as Jalen feel whole as a person. It makes this shit worth so much more, because I think at the end of the day, like when I think about what kind of success that I want, you know, as a independent creative, is I just want to impact people with my art, you know, and to see that I'm impacting people's lives, to see that, you know, artists are confiding in me creatively, confiding in me, you know, because they feel like, yo, Soulja gets me, you know, or yo, he understands it, you know. That shit just it's worth way more than rap, bro. Like it's worth way more than, you know, anything to me sometimes. Like, you know, like that shit really saved my life. A lot of people don't really understand. Like, you know, I created the smoke out in the most insecure time of my life. You know, my son Jackson, you know, I had full custody of him, and he died, you know, and you know, he died in his mother's custody, and you know, the insecurities that come with that, you know, you can't even take care of your child, you can't, you know, all of that kind of shit, man. Like seeing these artists look at me as somebody that they can trust with something, just it saved me, you know, and it took me from, you know, the darkest place, and it did something that I felt like rap wasn't doing for me at the time. So, yeah, man, it's only elevated me. It's only taken me higher. It's only put me in a space that can add more incentives to who I am as a creative, you know. I think really the executive stuff. I mean, I really get a kick out of putting something together from the bottom up and putting it out to the people to consume. And, you know, the whole, you know, I love mentoring artists. I love anything that, like, I am content with not being in the spotlight, you know, and with rap being such the spotlight, you know, I've just saw myself, you know, have conversations with people that have been so much different when I wear that hat that I'm not rapping in, you know. Rap is a real, you know, people's egos get crushed in rap, man. You know, people, especially when they feel like you rap better than them, you know, they don't want to make songs with you. They don't want to, you know, and you know, they see you taking something more serious than what they take, you know, and they can't really, you know, figure out why they shun you, you know, until you wear a role where that same artist wants to fuck with you because you got the shows. And now you're creating a totally different dialogue with this artist, and now they're understanding you from a whole nother place that dissipates anything that requires their ego to be involved with getting to know you. And I think that's something that I will never get tired of, you know. I like this is the first time in a long, I say this is the first time ever in my life, like, you know, probably since the time I've turned about 26, I'm 28 now, like, where I'm like, yo, I'm content with niggas not knowing that I rap. Like, I don't, however you meet me is how you meet me, you know. For them to have an official South by Southwest event in Austin was so huge. I was like, damn, nigga, like, y'all doing this shit in Austin, like, you know, what it's gonna be like, you know, I'm hyped, you know. We had Lil Baby on there, St. John, Designer, you know, and it was crazy. You know, I talked to Miss Cheryl, who's one of the people who's producing the event. And I was like, yo, man, like, I'm in Austin, you know, we in my hometown, like, you think we can do something to turn up? She was like, I got you. And she actually had Designer open for me in Austin. And when I hit the stage, man, the city was so ready for me. So many people who got to see, that was just like one of those crowning moments, in my opinion, for me, where I got to really put on for the city. And they got to see somebody from Austin, you know, totally, you know, take this shit to the next level. So, you know, big salute to Swisher Sweets, man. You know, they the ones who helped me make the smoke out. You know what I mean? So yeah. Yeah. For Life Forever, what you do today determines your tomorrow. How do you want to be remembered? We want to be remembered for life forever. It's pretty much like a movement, way of life type shit. And, you know, it's something to, you know, it's an umbrella that, you know, many different creatives and people who want to prosper and change the course of the industry can relate to and ride with. You know what I mean? You think about the greats that do this shit, you know, Michael Jordan all the way down to Michael Jackson, my nigga. Like, you know, these are people who are forever remembered in time by the things that they did while they were alive. So it's just about, you know, making that impact, doing things that are unforgettable, changing the course of history with your craft, whether you're a photographer, journalist, sportsman, whatever. You know, you changing lives, you doing something that somebody can remember you deep down the line for, you in for life forever. You know what I'm saying? You a part of the game. So that's what that's about, for life forever entertainment. The advice I would give to somebody trying to make a name for themselves as a creative would be to really analyze and assess what kind of success that you want to have. I think that's the number one thing. I feel like everybody is so focused on what kind of success everyone else has instead of what they truly want, because you'll get to these moments where you're following the template of somebody else's success, and you really realize that this is not the life for you, you know? So I think that getting into this industry, really understanding how you want to be successful in it is an important thing to understand, so that way you're not playing from behind with how you approach your craft and how you approach the industry, you know, because it's an industry, you know, and nothing is promised, nothing is guaranteed. So I would just tell a creative, man, start with you first. Figure out what you want as a creative, you know, and then when you figure out what you want as a creative, you'll realize that there is so many different avenues to achieve that other than the traditional one that everybody else is following. So learn this game, learn how people are being successful in it, learn behind the smoke and mirrors of shit, learn past social media, learn past the surface, and I think that you'll be on your route to achieving total success for yourself. So with behind the song, you know, we were doing a smoke out hip hop show. We sold out 5 shows in a year, which got us the opportunity to be official South by Southwest event in 2020. Of course, the pandemic hit, shut everything down, and we had to really figure out what was going to be our pivot point as an entity to accumulate and keep our audience intact and still service artists, because at the end of the day, the smoke out is so much more than an event where artists are performing. It's literally a service. You know, these artists, you know, what people don't see on camera or don't see prior to the event is that, you know, me getting all of these artists together for multiple meetings at the venue. You know, we do about 4 or 5 meetings as a whole and really approach this show as a collective, which is why it always sold out. Is, you know, it was a team thing. So it was like, what the fuck are we gonna do to pivot off of that? And behind the song was something that was created, you know, by me and with the help of my co-producer, my DJ Napalm. My number 1, I'm gonna have to do Jay-Z. Number 2, I'm gonna do K-Dot. Number 3, I'm gonna do Black Thought. Number 4, niggas is gonna hate me, Freddie Gibbs. Number 5, I'm gonna have to say that nigga Drake in my 5.